Good evening viewers, and a very warm welcome to tonight's episode of Out and About. Whilst we all do very well at celebrating the successes of existing businesses, it is imperative that we do everything possible to raise awareness for those in the next generation and of course those coming up through the ranks. And in this weekend's show, we take you to an event that does just that. So without further ado, let's head to House of Lords for the launch of India Startup Foundation and S Global.
It's a fantastic event because today we've got people coming in from India. There's a delegation from India because we are launching a S Global initiative for the startups and scale-ups, because as you know, the ecosystem for startups and scale-ups is huge in the UK and India, and they struggle to find go-to-market strategies, enhance their distribution reach, and basically hit the ground running wherever they want to sort of expand their businesses. And our idea is that different stakeholders come together in the shape of an alliance and make sure that startups and scale-ups are facilitated. So whatever they need, like-minded people come together and facilitate that sort of an initiative.
What we need to remember, as we know, we were all having a very tough time in COVID, and we all relied on technologies. We know the technology really boomed from 2000 up till now. If we see, it has boomed so much that we all relying on it like 24/7. So this initiative will build a relationship between India and UK, because India is a hub from where all these tech people are coming from. That, like my mother was telling other day, she said Elon Musk was saying, if you do not give all these IT people jobs in USA, then they will just build everything in India. So rather give them jobs outside so that they don't take over our jobs and the whole IT thing. So that would be really good, like the companies from here and the companies from India, we will collaborate with each other and work on that.
Good evening, my lords. Ministers Paul Scully, Member of UK Parliament, Member of French Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Preeti Rana. Half of you probably know me, but not everyone knows me. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for the S Global launch. S Global is an alliance of key stakeholders for tech startups and scale-ups. The primary aim is to facilitate the go-to-market strategies of startups.
What are we trying to achieve tonight? So S Global, we know that the startup ecosystem is huge in India and the UK. And I would say maybe about 20% of the investments that come in, Paul, you can correct me later, sir, are tech-driven in India, but about 4/5 of the investments in the UK are tech-driven. So there is a need to take advantage of this ecosystem, which is pretty robust and strong, both in India and the UK. And whilst people are sometimes having the funding, they've got angel investors and venture capitalists and others supporting them. But what we found is missing is perhaps the go-to-marketing strategy. If somebody wants to go and hit the ground running from here to India, or from vice versa, from India to the UK, it's a pretty daunting task. And so we want them to hit the ground running, facilitate that. And we've sort of joined hands, thanks to Mr. Chaudhary here. And we are co-founders now of the Indian Startup Festival, which is perhaps the largest festival of its kind. And recently, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, was there to inaugurate something in conjunction with this. And the second edition of the festival will be held in August. So our idea is to launch it tonight here, but at the same time request everybody in the room to participate. Now, you don't have to invest in a startup to be a participant. Somebody could mentor, somebody could play a different role. And I'm sure the Minister will give us more insight into what the UK can do. So thank you once again for making the journey tonight.
See, knowledge sharing is also knowledge giving, right? I mean, I feel when you're giving something, it's also be the thing. It's not that if some certificates, for example, today, I see a lot of impacts because they didn't have the requisite knowledge. You need to have I always believe everybody has unique skills, being a talent guy. And this unique skills has to be complemented. And if you can't complement, like our 5 fingers, right, we are not going to make a good show or get a whatever impactful thing, whatever we want to achieve. So that's where I believe it is very important to everybody understand or identify that's the main agenda for us to bring what I call exemplifying. One of my firms, IFINGLOBAL, we call it as talent exemplified beyond boundaries. So what it means is you're exemplifying individuals. We bring everything out of you as well as organizations who wants to get in, plus entrepreneurs. So everything of them is what we want to bring in, and we've been successful. For example, our organization in India has done a mega job fair where we had 100,000 people in one Usman University campus in Hyderabad. We have provided 20,000 jobs in 2 days for the underprivileged, especially able from the rural segment. We are purely a workforce solutions firm with 98% women. I can say it's a women-owned firm in India from all the segments of India, all parts of India. So we are coming from a talent background, as Sanju mentioned, that we want to really do something. And of course, the intent was, sir started coming, I'm coming to London. He wants to head to the US. I said, no, sir. We have London also is a place where there's a lot of things that can happen. We can really try to promote the corridor and is more receptive.
We are organizing the India Startup Festival. This is the second edition. We are organizing this in Bangalore in the month of August 11th and 12th. A lot of global startup companies across the different countries, they're all participating in this startup festival. And India itself is able to produce many startups in the last 5-6 years. You see many unicorns, sunicorns, and they're creating wealth for the nation and also jobs for the nation. While IT services segment, because of automation, is going down, thankfully India is able to catch up with the Western world like Silicon Valley, and a lot of technology startups are mushrooming in India, not necessarily only in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Rajasthan, everywhere. I mean, that is the kind of growth is happening in the startup activities in India, and we want to celebrate. This is a festival of India. Right, all our startup companies are becoming richer, and that too ordinary people. Earlier only businesses grew, families, and they can only start the companies. Today, any common man, any poorest of the poor person, if he has got a great idea, there are investors, they invest in him, and he can produce a product, and product can be globally sold in the social media using the digital technologies. Earlier, marketing means one has to have a lot of marketing people. Today, I mean, if you have a product, I mean, you can sell that product all over the globe using the technology. I would like to thank all of you for gracing this very important event. And I also want to thank Tarun, Sheshadri, Preeti for organizing this event, inviting me to come here and talk to all of you about the Indian Startup Festival. Why I am evangelizing the startup activities in India? See, all of you are aware that India has got 1.5 billion people. As long as the job engine is rotating in India, there won't be any problems in India. Nobody can, and India can grow the way it is growing. The moment the job engine stops with 1.5 billion people, how do we get jobs for them? How do we get food for them? How do we get shelter for them? That's going to be the biggest issue. Thankfully, when we started our IT services industry in the year 1985 to 2000 and plus, the Indian IT industry was able to recruit either from they are a mechanical engineer, civil engineer, a diploma holder, ITI. All these people were required to work in the Indian IT services industry. Today, everybody is talking about India, $1 trillion economy. It is going to be $10 trillion economy and maybe $100 trillion economy. It's all because of the IT industry driven economy. You take, for example, Hyderabad. If you remove information technology industry, there is no economy there. And what I have seen, the technology is playing a level playing field. Earlier, only big business houses, only they used to start a company, they used to succeed. Today, even a farmer's son or daughter can come out with an idea and there are investors to invest in that idea, and they are taking those products globally. That's what is happening. That's where we are seeing rural India is actually creating more job opportunities than even the cities. And because of that, what we thought we should celebrate this as a festival. Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's really important that we welcome the Indian business people here today, celebrating and noting the Indian Startup Festival in August, because we have here in the UK $1 trillion digital ecosystem, and with more unicorns than France and Germany put together. So that gives us a real great foundation for the amazing tech and digital economy that India has as well, to do even bigger and better things together. I'm really looking forward to go to Bengaluru in August myself when I'm going for the G20. There's plenty of partnerships we're going to set up.
The event continues at House of Lords, but after this very short break.